Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Horse Center. The last day, Rich is doing what is it, Amelia Earhart that flew around the country by herself. It's the last day that Rich is going to go solo. Our friend Terry will be back tomorrow. Looking forward to that. It's a little bit easier to drive the ship when there's two people in the car, one navigating and one co-piloting, I guess. Kind of an interesting day yesterday at Parks. Some ups, some downs. Always that one horse that kills you, and that was that 2-5 favorite in the second to last leg. I should have just singled the 7 in the last leg and went 3 deep. It was the third horse that got me all day yesterday in the pick. So hopefully today, Colonial Downs right now, not a whole lot of scratches yet. I know that the forecast says that there are some thunderstorms in the, slated to hit the area sometime during the day today. So a lot of those turf races could come off the turf if it gets too wet. But for now, they're all still listed on the turf. But they have not listed the turf the last time I checked in terms of its firmness or it's good or yielding. So I think they're still subject to maybe change some of those races. Hopefully last night you had a chance to join myself and Sean on Horse Center. We had on jockey Farron Peterson. It was a fantastic show. She's definitely I guess the right word would be go-getter. I mean, this young lady, she's been in pole vaulting. She's ridden horses in fox hunts. She's done dressage. I thought it was dressage, but anyway. There's just really nothing this young lady has not done. She's studying to go to school to be a veterinarian in between races as a professional jockey. So if there is a more determined person than Farron Peterson, I'd like to know who that person is. If you haven't had a chance to yet, she's really impressive young lady. Watch the show, Horse Center. Sean and I last night tackled a couple of other topics too. One being TVG is going to maybe go away, and they're going to replace horse racing with Korean football, pickle game, something or another, and Chinese basketball. I'm wondering how Todd Schrupp and Matt Carruthers are going to cover pickleball. Looking forward to that. That should be pretty funny. Today, we're going to do today's track is Colonial Downs. Hopefully, we can pick some winners, and that third horse doesn't get to us today. We are able to follow through and hopefully hit our pick fours, our best bets, and the long shots as well. Looking at the card here, first thing that we're going to talk about today is race number 1. Race number 1 is 6 furlongs. It's a maiden claimer, $10,000 for a purse of $25,000. This one, 6 furlongs on the main track. And so far, at 6 furlongs on the main track, they've put out 8 races, 7 of which were won by speed. And I think 4 of them went wire to wire. I forgot to make a note of that. There's a strong rail bias, 2-3 penalty, 4 through 7 get a little bonus, 8+ so far. No winners. So you definitely looks to me like you want to be either on the rail or posts 4, 5, 6, or 7. And let's take a look at what we've introduced since Terry's been away. My handy dandy pace worksheet. Here you can see in race number 1. 4 has been scratched. That's unfortunate because the 4 was a left arrow horse. So that leaves the 5 horse here now as the potential lone speed because everybody else in here wants to go to the front. The 1 horse is the first time starter. It's over here in the NC or NA. I usually put the horses in here that are never close. Here you can see the 6 horse, one of the few that's dropping in class. Late pace belongs to the top. Late pace belongs to the 2. Second best late pace belongs to the 3. Most of these horses, and again, when I'm looking at these maiden, especially these maiden claimer races, I want to see how they're moving around. And you have the 2 horse, small arrow, small drop. 6 is taking the biggest drop. 4 is flat. 3 is making a small move up in class. Really not the best horses to get cracking at the first race at Colonial Downs. But nonetheless, it is what it is. And those are the horses we get to choose from, right? We don't get to set the fields. Morning, Tom. How are you today? 3 will win, says Thomas. Glad to see. So will Thomas's 11. Over at the Glorious Goodwood, but we'll get to that, Tom, in a minute, my man. Fantastic job on that. So we'll talk a little bit more about what I'm talking about in a minute. That's called a tease, I guess, in TV parlance. All right, so first race, I'm going to start with the 5, despite Tom saying the 3 is going to win. Noble Present could have the lead to herself. If the 4 is rusty, the 4 is not only rusty, the 4 is out. So very likely to get the lead to itself. Horse Alone on the front end, as everybody knows, can be dangerous, right? You hear it, you go to the OTB, and you probably hear Lone Speed, Lone Speed, Lone Speed more than any other any other type of angst is what we're probably looking for there. Tom's 3 horse is my second choice. That is Villaregia. Probably going to take a lot of money, but the resume says to expect some regression in round 2 off the bench. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it back up a little bit in here. Truly a Dream. I really wanted to time her up here, the 1 horse. Unfortunately, the scratch does get the 1 into the back. But her trainer on the 1 horse on likes is 0 for 30 with first timers and just hit the board 3 out of 30. So really not all that successful. Meanwhile, Truly a Dream did up her speed figure in her last. It might be better in the 3rd off the layoff. And then finally, the 1 horse, the first time entry, really, there's really not a whole lot to beat in here. So I wouldn't be surprised if the 1 shocks everybody and takes home the top prize anyway. Let's go off to race number 2. I forgot to put that up there for race number 1, so forgive me. Race 2 is 1 mile on the inner turf. This one is claiming $16,000. Non-winners of 3 lifetime for a purse of $34,500. And again, if we take a look at our pace setup, but before we look at the pace setup, let's talk a little bit about what the profile of a winner looks like so far at the Colonial Downs meet. 4 horses at 1 mile on the inner turf. There have been 9 races, 5 of which were won by speed. 1 only went wire to wire. So far, not a single winner from the rail. There is a 2-3 penalty. 4+, you get a small bonus. And here we see in race number 2, we get our first. This is an interesting race to me in race 2. It was when I plotted out, these are how horses have won in the past. And if you can see right here, when I plotted this out, every one of them, except for 1 horse in here, is a closer. So what does that mean? Well, your 3 horse and your 6 horse of the closers, they have the best early pace. So they're going to, wrong button, Richard. You got to get the right thing in here if you want to do the right thing, right? So we want to draw a line. So right here, the 3 horse and the, all right, so we're getting a little crazy here. The 3 horse, never mind on that. The 3 horse and the 6 horse are your, what I would call your left arrow horses. Maybe there's an arrow button in here I should probably use. But what I like to see here is the 7 horse being a horse that is, what in the world is going on here? You know what? I don't know what's going on. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Hold on a second. I pressed the wrong button. The 7 horse here is a plus horse. That means he has the 10-point early pace advantage over anybody else in the field, which should give her, an opportunity to get up to the front of this race and win it pretty easily. The only question with the 7, though, is the 7's been off for a little while. So since the 7's been off for a little while, it's going to have to come back. And if it's coming back, it's got to come back in form. So the 7 is my top pick in race number 2. Let's see what Tom has to say here. Hello, Charles. How are you, my friend? Good to see you today. Breaking heat for a few degrees, muggy, drizzle, rainy, cloudy at the track at Colonial today. You don't live too far from there, right? You said 10 minutes away, right? So let's try 6-5-2 in race number 2, Thomas. And then Charles is with you at 2. He likes the 6 and the 7. For me, the 7 horse is the one to beat in here because, as I said, if the horse is ready, it is a no-brainer. If she's ready to close, she's been in the barn for a year. But a Lone Speed with that double plus advantage gets to the front, might never be caught. Number 5, Chicka Boom, won her last race and the first go around at Colonial Downs on that course. Soft Z pattern last time out with better early pace and late pace numbers. A little bit of a lull in the middle. Consistent performer who typically shows more in the second race after a layoff. Number 6, Sunnymead Dream, won her last effort, last 2 of them at Colonial Downs. Overall, winner of 2 or 3 at the Virginia track. This one I think that should be near the front, chasing around the 7 horse all the way around the track. As far as the pack of closers are concerned, this is the one that should lead the pack of closers trying to run down the 7. Number 1, Fearless Kitten, did break her maiden at Colonial Downs. has has a off the board run in 3 tries at the Virginia track. So it's been 1 win and an off the board track in 3 tries. The horse has done okay. Sometimes I have to do a better job of writing things out because I'm typing things and looking at the program at the same time, and I should probably be a little bit slower in what I'm doing. Race 3 is a 5.5 furlong race on the outer turf, maiden claiming for $40,000. Got a ton of first-time starters in here, so I didn't put together the pace because it didn't really make much sense to do the pace. I mean, horses haven't run before, so you don't know where they're going to fill in, what spots they're going to take. So this 5.5 furlongs on the outer turf, they've run 10 races so far. It's been split evenly between speed horses that come from off the pace. 2 of the 10 went wire to wire. So far, not a single one has won from the rail. Get a slight discount from posts 2 through 7, just winning it a little bit under what they should win. You get a nice bonus at 8 and out in race 5.5 furlongs on the outer turf. And there are a few of them today, so you might want to pay attention to that bias. I'm going to start with number 8, Lucidity. This one's could be outside speed, looking at that July 4th workout of 36 and 2 for 3 furlongs. And then Steady Works 1 week later. The horse is almost on the same workout pattern. It's just going to be +1. So instead of running 1 week after the last workout, it's going to run 8 days. Number 7, Silent Swinger, June 22nd workout of 36 and 4 at Laurel Park. It was pretty fast. This is another one that stuck to a pretty, it was a pretty different, like it would run, then take 5 days and then take off 10 days and then run 5 days, take off 10 days. So this one's sticking to its workout schedule as well for its debut. Number 9, Tiki Bar. This one has the Barry Meadows Skeptical Handicapper, Alpha Angle as I like to call them. Alpha angles are any angles that I've determined to win at 15% or more because the average field has 8 horses. That means, strictly speaking, you have a 12% chance to win. So anything above 12% is alpha, as they call it in the financial market world. So I think this one's probably going to get some play as well. And then finally, number 6, Golf Bender. Larry Ravelli has 2 horses in this race. Jareth Loveberry is his go-to rider. So I think this is the one that he thinks has the best chance to win. So in race number 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, but we're going to go 8, 7, 9, 6 in that order for race number 3. See, Larry, Tom, yeah, you like, but he's got the one. I mean, Jareth Loveberry is the one jockey he's going to put on his better horse. That's why I put that one there. Race 3, I like the 9 if he gets outside trip, fit, and ready to go. I got the 9 in there too in race 3. And let's see, let's try 6, 5, 2 in race number 3. So you're also doing 6, 5, 2 in race number 2, Tom? Is it 6, 5, 2 all the way down the card? Figuring one of them is going to be right. It's the broken clock theory. It's my favorite form of handicapping, unquestionably. All right, so race number 4, it is the broken clock theory. Yes, this one's 1 mile on the inner turf. It is a maiden claiming $10,000. And the profile of a maiden, not of a maiden claimer, but a 1 mile inner turf race, 9, 5 won by speed, 1 of which went wire to wire. None have won from the rail. So apparently it's tough to win from the rail at Colonial Downs. 2 and 3 have a small penalty. 4 plus, you get a little bit of a bonus. This is my box it up race. But before we get to the picks, let's once again take a look at what the pace setup might look like in race number 4. And again, none of these horses have won so far because maiden race, right? So this is the apparent way that these horses might run. Again, I have my arrows in here to determine whether the horse is dropping in class or if it's going up in class. But most of these horses are either flat or coming down. The 7 horse, once again, up on the front, does got a little plus mark in here. So it does have a little bit of an early pace advantage. 3 and the 6 are both dropping in class. Here you see the 8 horse is your top late pace number, along with the 5 and then the 10. But none of them have a real distinct advantage coming home over the rest. So I think it's going to be pretty, none of them is going to really be able to outrun the others significantly down the lane. Of course, that depends on how in shape they are. So let's go ahead and talk about which horses we like in the box it up for race number 4. And this is a race where I feel like there's an opportunity to catch some odds. So Hopefully we catch some odds today, and in catching those odds, we can catch a nice exacta or trifecta or superfecta as we box them all with 4 horses. Number 3, Stepstones is my first choice. Stepstones did run better numbers in her last. Short resume hints at a really sizable jump possibility in race number 2 after a layoff. I do like the fact that Stepstones put in a bullet workout between races and then gets an upgrade here today to jockey Joe Rocco. If Joe Bravo is not the most American name, Joe Rocco is the one that would be the most American name. It's winning at 31% so far. And so far with this trainer, Kelsey Danner, 100% in the money in 6 races, winning 3 of them with a fantastic return on investment of $3.67. Number 6 is the second choice, Come What May. Debut race gets it done here. Last race, which was the third start in the career, was much better than in the first half mile than in the second start. I think the cutback in distance here could be the key for Come What May to run back to debut form. Number 8, Sawani Chick, probably runs a similar race today as she did in her last. Likes to go way, way back and then rally for some excitement at the end, but unfortunately likes to fall out short, just filling out the trifectas or superfectas. Number 9, Magnolia Road. This one's coming from Gulfstream Park, and I think that's a track drop. Been close at the end of the last 2 races. Now, I tried 16 times already, hasn't won yet, so I'm not quite sure what's going to be different today. I think we'll be close at the end. This is a Tom horse all the way. You got it. Will it win? Nah. Do you have to have it in your exactas and trifectas, show into the money? Probably. So that's where we're at with the final horse in race number 4. Before we move on to the next set of races, let's go ahead and catch up on what we're going to do tonight. I know last night, as I mentioned, we had a fantastic show with Farron Peterson. Tonight, we have a new jockey on the Horse Center show. I got to find the right page here. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Tonight, our guest is jockey Romero Mirage. Been riding since 2018 right now, mostly at Gulfstream Park. So he'll be our guest tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on Horse Center. Make sure if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button while you're here on YouTube. If you like what you see, thumbs up are always appreciated. We like those ratios. The better the ratio, the better we show up in algorithms. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Horse Race, the number 2, and then day. So Horse Race Today is the best place to find us. Our Swiss Army Sean will keep you up to speed on every single thing we're doing. And this week we're doing a lot. We're going to be back. I kind of alluded to this at the beginning of the show a little bit. Hold on one second. I have the outside horses 9, 10, and 7 in race 4, so maybe the ones not to play. I don't know, Tom. I'm going to get to why you might want to listen to Tom in just about 5 seconds here. Race 4, I come with 3, 7. I like the 3 best. Jockey is hot, and the track of the trainer lights out. So the 3 horse in race number 4 for Charles. And if you watched our show last night for the Glorious Goodwood, and Tom and I will be back tonight at 6 o'clock for the Glorious Goodwood, he gave out in race number 3, Sandrine as his top pick, Kinross, and Pogo as his second and third choice. Well, if you got up this morning and you went over to your account and you bet those 3 horses, put them in a trifecta, the 11 horse, Tom's top pick, came home first. Kinross and Pogo came home second and third. And that trifecta for $1, folks, $491.90. More than enough to pay for your McDonald's breakfast. Way to go, Tom. Hopefully you have some on the next race. I hit the trifecta in the next race, but only for $20. So I got about 20 more to go to catch up. Hopefully we can find one of those tonight. That's that'll be again tomorrow's races at Glorious Goodwood. Hopefully Tom has another $500 trifecta in his pocket. You're not going to want to miss that show again. That'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern. Again, the best way to make sure you don't miss a damn thing that we do is hit the subscribe button while you're here at YouTube, like us on Facebook, and then, of course, give us thumbs up so that we get recognition from those folks. We'd appreciate that. Next race that we're going to do on the card for Colonial Downs, I believe, is race number 5. I hope I'm right about that. Let's just make sure. Let me pull up my picks real quick. Yes, indeed. It is race number 5. Because we just did the box it up. Race 5 at Colonial Downs is 1 mile on the inner turf. As we mentioned, 1 mile on the inner turf so far. 9 races, 5 won by speed, only 1 going wire to wire. Looks like you want to be on the outside, not on the inside. If we pull up the pace for race number 5, let's go ahead and that's all the way down here. Race number 5, our pace chart looks like this. You'll see that the 2-horse is near the front, and one that should, that's why it's boxed, get a pace that's comfortable for it. It does have the top early pace figures in the field. We run into another left arrow horse here. Those are horses that, based upon their comfort zone, this one likes to press, but the 3 horses' early pace numbers are going to put it closer to the lead. So it can run its typical race, not have to really try too hard to be more forwardly placed than usual. And then if it has a little bit of the afterburners left, can take that home. So it gives it, I feel like, an advantage. And a lot of these left arrow horses have been winning. Finally, the other horse in here that has a real good pace advantage is the 4-horse. It is a plus on the back end. That means it has a 10-point advantage over the next closest horse. So that is a pretty significant advantage. It may not win, but it should put the horse in play as far as coming home into the exacta trifecta. One maybe you want to key your picks around. For me, in race number 5, the 2-horse is my long shot of the day. Songwriter, the Gulfstream Park numbers aren't much different than the 3, who's one of the early line favorites here. Not sure that a maiden special weight win at $17,000 is the best of the maiden special weight wins in here. But he was much better in the first half of his last start, going wire to wire. Today, it's going to go a little bit longer for the first time. So really, the 2-horse going long, a little bit of front-end speed, maybe gets to the lead and can hang on there. If not, number 3, Crazy Odds, which won't go off of Crazy Odds. Really not a fan of the maiden claiming risers, but did run a lot better 6 furlong fractions last time out at 1 mile and 70 yards on grass. Then the final time for 6 furlongs on Gulfstream Park dirt. And Gulfstream's not necessarily the slowest track. It's considered a fast track. So if you run faster at 1 mile and 70 yards on grass than you do in a full race at 6 furlongs, that's a pretty good sign the horse is fit, in my opinion. Number 5, Tapit Brio. Last race wasn't as bad as it looks on paper. Did show a little bit more in the first half mile of that race. This one's dropping in class as well. So I'd like that improvement, a little less competition today. Continue up that improvement ladder. Could be enough to get the job done. And then Virginia Fula, this one is a plus late pace advantage over this group. But the problem is, and this is why I didn't put it higher, this is one of those horses that for whatever reason likes to find trouble. And in the last 3 races, the horse has had issues. So hopefully he can stay away from issues today. And if it can, then it can maximize that late pace advantage. Race 5, hopefully the one can get a good trip here. Maybe this one can buck the trend. Maybe. It's been tough. It looks like Colonial has been tough to catch those rail wins. Race 5, Tom likes the 8, the 5, and the 9. Boy, so Charles likes the 1. Tom likes the 8, the 5, and the 9, and I have the 5. So between all of those, between all of us, I think we have every horse in the race. One of us is going to be right. Perfect. Got to appreciate that. So that one is the end of the early pick 4. And I went with my hot dog in the early part of the race today because I just felt like the back half of the card was a little bit more competitive than the front half of the card. So I'm going to start off with the 7 and the 5. Like I said, if that 7 is ready, going to make easy work. The only reason I didn't single it is because the horse has been off since last August. Workouts were only okay. Nothing in there that really said, lit up the neon lights that said I'm ready to run. So I'm going to go, and I really would like in some of these claiming maiden races to get a little bit deeper, but that's what we're going to go with. 2 by 3 by 2 by 3. Any thoughts on pick 4s for you guys, Tom and Charles? Hot dog pick 4s for the first couple races there. If there's anything you think you like in there, let me know. I would appreciate it. Race number 6 on the Colonial Downs card. 1 second. Let me do this so that I can keep track of where I'm at. Race number 6 is 6.5 furlongs. It's a claiming 10,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime, $28,000. Fillies and mares, 3 years old and up. So this is a little bit of a different distance that we've talked about today. So far, at 6.5 furlongs, they've run 11 races, 9 of which were won by speed, 5 of the 11 leading from gate to wire. In this case, there is a small rail edge. So there you go. Put the 1 in this race, Charles. 2 and 3 get a small penalty. 4 through 7 are the best. So far, no winners from 8 and out. Again, let's take a quick peek at what the race setup has looked like for horses in the past in terms of what it is that they needed to win. Race number 6, we see that the 7 horse here, once again, we have a horse with a plus mark. This is a horse that does have the best early pace numbers, and they are at least with only 1 plus mark, 5 points better than the next closest one. The 6 horse, again, boxed in, meaning the horse should get a pace. It should be positioned where it is pressing, comfortable, and then has the top late pace numbers in the field. 3 horse, at least when I checked earlier today, was scratched. I don't know if there's been more scratches since. Haven't had a chance to check it. It's the 1 horse, the rail horse, catches the second best late pace numbers in the field. As far as the picks for race number 6 are concerned, I'm going to go with number 6 as my top choice. Soupster. Horse has won 2 in a row. Should be close to the lead at the half-mile marker and has the most late pace in the field. Number 7, Myra, has a plus early pace advantage that's really close to a plus pace advantage. If she runs the right fractions, she can go wire to wire, and I think at a pretty good price, too. I think it was like 12 to 1 morning line. Mick's best bet yet. So, yeah, apparently Mick doesn't win very many. Drops in class and gets a jockey upgrade to Victor Carrasco, who's sitting at 29%. And finally, for the drinkers in the crowd, Bourbon Runner. She's gotten better from race to race and can continue up the ladder in her second start off a layoff, and I think her 4th career start. Race 7 is it's too much. 1 mile and 16th on the inner turf, claiming $8,000. The profile of a winner, 1 mile and a 16th on the inner turf. 20 races so far, 11 of which came from off the pace. 3 went wire to wire. Here, Charles, is a very strong inside 3 bias. In fact, the closer to the rail you are, the better off. So I start with the 1 and then immediately go outside. Brilliance on my part. I love to try to fight the powers that be, so to speak. 1 second. Let's see. Good luck. Race number 5, the 859. Good luck seems impossible today early. 4 is out in which race? The race number 5, Tom? Race number 8, 8, 6, and 1 for Thomas in race number 6. Which race is the 4 out, Tom? Race 6, the 6C1. So you like the 1 horse in race 6, all right? Or does that mean you're claiming it? That would be a good thing to know. I like the 1 horse in race number 7. Let's take a look at what the pace chart looks like for race number 7. Tom, if you could tell me which race the 4 is out, I'd appreciate that. It would make me so I know. So race number 7, here we see that the 1 and the 2 horse, again, they're boxed in, meaning that they are going to get a pace that's comfortable for them, should put them close to the front. If I remember correctly, and I'll remember when I do my picks, but one of them, hey, look, they say you made it. Race number 6, the 4 is out. Okay, so that was a late scratch then. I'll leave my replacement in there. They say you made it when you start getting the X-rated stuff. So I guess we've made it today. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Porn attack, yes, indeed. That's what they say. You've made it when the pornos show up. We're getting some attention, so that's always it's always good to know that we're being recognized. But anyway, the 1 and 2 should get a pace that sets up pretty well for them. Over here on the back end, you see the 7 horse, who is a pressure closer, so this one can move towards the front. Pace numbers say you may or may not do that today. The 5 and the 6 also have some late pace numbers in there. There's not much separation between these 3 horses with their late pace figures, so it's all going to be based upon where they are coming out of the gate to see which one gets the jump on the rest. As far as the picks are concerned in race number 7, let's go ahead and pull them up on the screen. Let me bring myself back up on the screen too. So in race number 7, I am going to start with that rail horse, Robacher. This one's dropping in class and has had some Colonial down success 2 times at the track with a win and a third. I think this one, based upon the pace figures, is likely to be the leader at the 6 furlong markers, and all he's got to do is hang on. Perhaps that 20% winning rail gets that job done. Till the end, the 7 horse had the top last race speed figure in a win. Penn National last out. Trainer Jose D'Angelo's dropping after that win, which is probably a good idea because I'm not a big fan of those Parks shippers, but did run at better tracks before that. And when Jose has dropped a horse off a win, collected another winner's check 2 out of 4 times. Did show some improvement in the fractions at the 4 furlong marker and the 6 furlong marker last time. I'm always a fan of horses that are running faster. Number 5, Colonist, hit the top speed number on turf for any of these horses in its back class. The only one to reach triple digits, tied for the 7 with the top late pace number marks, but it's got to find that 100 speed figure form. Hasn't shown it in a while. Number 8, Mystery Bank does have some early pace in here. Probably sits behind the 1 and the 2 and capitalize if they go too fast or if they go too slow. Race 7, Thomas says he likes the 1, the 5, and the 7. The 1 going wire to wire. Race number 6, Charles says watch for the 7. Trainer brings these from his farm. Always a bomb and the score. And that's in race number 6. I have the 7 as my second pick. I pulled that one out of there too. Hopefully we're both right, Charles. I would love to see a nice bomb come in, especially when we put together the late pick 4 in just a minute. Before we go on to any more races today, we introduce you to all kinds of stuff around here, man. You got our good friend Tom scoring you a $500 trifecta over at Glorious Goodwood. And then again, we introduced, because we figured that the folks that play horses probably also like to play sports. So we did a lot of homework, searched far and wide, and then we actually found a statistics professor. Picks with the professor. Yesterday, we told you he liked the Mariners. They made it really interesting in the end, but once again, the Mariners won. So I think so far, since we started working with him, 1 push, 1 draw, 2 losses, everything else has been W's. Today, he's looking for another win with the Padres in the Tigers going under 8.5 runs. That's an A play. Again, in the description here on YouTube and at Facebook, we have a link to the professor's play of the day and also his YouTube channel, so you can see all of his picks for the day. Make sure you head on over there. And as I've said before, when you are in the comment section, kindly be rowdy. Kindly let him know where you're coming from. We'd appreciate that. And just let him know Horse Racing Today sent you. All right, so now we're going to go. I think we're going to do race number 8. Let me just pull up my picks again, just to be sure. Race number 8. Yes, because we just did race number 7. So race number 8, this one brings in my long shot of the day. Oh, no, my best bet, excuse me. I did my long shot already. Race 8 is this one is a 5.5 furlong race on the outer turf. We've gone over this before with the 5.5 furlongs on the outer turf. The profile of a winner, 10 races, evenly split between those horses that have early juice and late juice. 2 have gone wire to wire. Once again, we find that the rail does not win. So far, this many wins, 0. And you get a slight discount 2 through 7. You get a nice bonus if you go 8 and out. And for one of the few times I'm actually going to play that bias, I'm going to go with the 9 horse as my best bet of the day. Let's take a look at the pace worksheet for race number 8. Let me bring that up in here. So here we see, again, with the 9 horse, one of the reasons I really like this horse is it also has one of those fantastic plus edges at the end, meaning it has 10 points more than the next closest horse on the late pace. We also get a left arrow horse in here. So this 6 horse should be, instead of pressuring, probably going to be closer to the front, maybe in front of the 8. 2 horses scratched. The 4 horse of all the front runners is the one with the top early pace, which could discourage the 1 and the 5. A lot of times, if a horse was only 1 on the front and it doesn't get the front, many times those horses run out of the money. So with that late pace advantage, the 9 horse is my best bet of the day for race number 8. Let me pull myself back in here again, and let me click this button over here. I like Reina Dale. This is race 8, sorry. Number 9, Lontano, as I mentioned, does have that plus late pace edge. Really likes to run at the distance. 7 times out, 3 wins in 3 seconds off the board on 1, all of which were on grass. Did run the top last race. Speed figure drops in class here. I like that combination as well. And I do like that combination when it does have some decent workouts between races as well. So a lot of really good things going on for Montano. I doubt it's going to go off. I think it's 5-2 morning line. I think it'll be closer to 6-5, maybe even lower. Number 6, Ballistico. Again, this is one of those left arrow horses. I think this one should be ready to rip off a great race in the third start after a layoff. Was better across the board. So from the beginning, when the gates opened until it hit the finish line, all of the internal numbers improved from the prior start. Number 7, Coop tries harder, ran better fractions last out, more endurance, and another looking to peak in race 3 in a 3-race cycle. And finally, number 4 was a tough call between this one and the 1 for me. Both want the lead, but the 4 has better early pace numbers. As I mentioned, if you're only used to winning on the lead and somebody beats you to the punch, sometimes you're discouraged. And the rail is 0 for 10 so far. So I would rather go with a shot where maybe the 4 has a chance to win. Final race of the day. Hold on. Before I move on here, let's see. Race 8. Charles says, looks like the 9 outside Stidham horse. Nice horse. Yeah, it's my best bet of the day right there. Race number 8, try for some prices, 6, 3, and 4. I do have the 6 in there and the 4 in there with you, Thomas. Hopefully the 9 finishes in front of them. It's my best bet. Wouldn't leave the 3 out in race 8, Pablo's daughter training. So the 3 in race 8. I don't have the 3 in race 8, so make sure if you do have the 3, put them in your tickets. Charles is usually the E.F. Hutton of horse racing. When Charles speaks, you got to listen. Race number 9 is the final car race on the regular card. There are 2 more after that if you want to stick around for the 2-mile jumpers. I haven't handicapped those. Don't plan on it any other time, but maybe Tom has some thoughts. I know Tom usually likes those sorts of things. 1 mile and 16th, mile and 16th on the inner turf on the last car race before they start going 2 miles and jumping. This mile and 16th on the inner turf has been done 20 times. 11 of them were won off the pace. 3 go wire to wire. Again, here we find a strong inside 3 bias. So why not just take all your picks on the outside? Perhaps I have some decent reasoning for that. I'm not sure. So race number 9, if we look at it, it's a pretty interesting setup to me. If you look at all of the horses in this race, for the most part, with the exception of the 4 scratched. So he's out. And then all the rest of them, if you look over here, all closers, man. So you got one that might get to the lead, a pressure horse in the 9 horse. Doesn't usually get to the front. Pace numbers say might get to the front, but it could be lone speed. The 3 horse is the one of the closers that does have probably the most early juice. So I would think the 3 might come up here and pressure the 9 out of the gate to see those 2 maybe try to go wire to wire or lead 1, 2 all the way around the track. The 5 and the 7 have the best late pace numbers in the field, pretty similar to one another. So if they can be towards the front of that clump of closers, perhaps they can bring home the final check in race number 9. If we take a quick look at the picks in race number 9, I like the 8 horse as my first selection to close the show, and that is Reina de Verano. Just won at this level, at the track, the distance, and the surface. So was it 1 mile and 16th on the inner turf, won by 8.5 lengths. Been my experience, and perhaps Charles and Tom can verify this or shoot it down in flames. But my experience has been when a horse runs a big race, tends to come out and run another one the next time out. Maybe not as strong, but still a pretty solid effort. I think 8 will have a chance to go back-to-back W's here. Bright Side of Life drops in class. It could take a major step forward in the third start off a layoff. When you look back at the resume, you rewind to the other 3 race cycles, there was a huge jump in race number 3, by far the best in the cycle for Bright Side of Life. Number 9, Our Sweet Pea. If she breaks sharply or this race is moved off the turf to dirt because of weather, could be lone speed. And if she runs easy fractions, I think the horse could possibly go to wire. The 3 might have something to say with that. Could challenge for the lead as the left arrow horse. And then finally, number 7, Flava's Dream. Top last race speed figure is stretching out today off of that sprint last time out. Does at times flash some superior late ability, but sometimes doesn't. So sometimes she uses her talents, sometimes she doesn't. But it all averages out to be the best late pace numbers in the field for race number 9, Flavia's Dream, to end the card. Let's see. So not betting those jumpers. So let's see what he says. Wouldn't leave out the 3. So Thomas says those races are first off, not at the end. They're at the first. Why does it show like 10 and 11 on the programs then? You're not going to bet them. Charles, LOL, Pablo's daughter, a trainer. The jumpers go early before race 1 at Colonial, non-wager. I didn't know that. Why they list them as races 10 and 11 over there. Race 9, Tom likes the 1, the 5, and the 9. Again, well, we agree on everything. 2 out of 3 there anyway. Discounted, distorted humor, Nick B. All right, so there we have the last race of the day. We're looking at the prime rib pick 4 to close out race number 9. So I'm putting together a little bit bigger price ticket. The 6, the 7, the 1, the 1, the 7, the 5, the 8, the 9, the 6, the 7, and then 5 to close out the show. I did hit that middle prime rib yesterday for a $4 profit. Would have been better off betting some of those other horses along the way. Missed on the early pick 4 because my third pick jinxed me yesterday all day. So my third pick won one leg and screwed up that. Of course, the single got beat by the third pick too. Otherwise, if I had singled that last horse in the final leg, which I was thinking about doing, I might have had that pick 5-2 at Park. So there's the prime rib pick 4. Let's go ahead and take a look at the hot dog pick 4 again in race number 1. Boom. Race 2, 275, 879, 36, 253. The box it up is in race number 4, 3, 6, 8, and 9. Just showed the prime rib for the last 4 races of the day. And then, of course, here are the full card picks with the best bet in race number 8 with the 9 horse, the long shot race number 5 with the 2 horse. And if you're going to do any action today over at Thistle Downs, please head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You'll find that is the free track of the day. All you need to do is click on Tip Sheets, come down here. You'll see Thistle Downs is listed as free. And One Crazy Can Be Righted is the best bet in race number 1. The 1A looks like it may have scratched, however. So Spin Doctor moves into that first spot because they do update for scratches. If you're heading over to Thistle Downs, please use the link in the description here on Horse Racing Radar TV, or over on Facebook, or any that you find on horseracingtoday.net, so they know where you are coming from. Let's see. Single, race 7. The 1 horse in race 7, Tom says. I think you got last leg, Rich. Good luck. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And if you do like what we do out here, if you like hitting $400 trifectas from Thomas at Goodwood, if you like the winning baseball bets, please head on over to horseracingtoday.net. Hit the HRT gear. Get yourself a See You in the Winner Circle t-shirt. I designed this myself. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. See You in the Winner Circle t-shirt. Show your support. Help the show. Help us keep the lights on around here. And then tomorrow I will be back with Terry. We will be covering a little change in schedule. Normally we do Delaware on Wednesday, but because of the summer season, we're going to do Saratoga starting tomorrow on Wednesdays and Del Mar on Thursday. So the bigger tracks, we'll cover those tomorrow. Saratoga, Terry's return, Del Mar on Thursday. Again, tonight, make sure you join Sean and I at 8 p.m. Eastern for Horse Center with Romero Marga as our jockey, as our guest. Tom and I will be back at 6 o'clock tonight for day 2 at Glorious Goodwood. Hopefully, Thomas, you have another $500 trifecta, maybe more, in your pocket. And he also puts all of his picks out there, too. So I have posted them all at horseracingtoday.net. Puts his picks for every single race. We're going to just cover 3 tonight, 3 of the bigger ones. Make sure you tune in for that at 6 o'clock. The best way to do that is hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Our Swiss Army Sean will keep you up to speed on everything that's going on here. I think that wraps up everything, right? See you tomorrow morning at Saratoga. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow too, Nick. I hope you have a fantastic day. Some of them sucked. Well, you know what, Tom? You hit one $500 winner. You don't really need to be the rest of them, right? All right, folks. Thank you for joining me this Tuesday. I hope that we have a fantastic day at Colonial Downs. That no matter what you're doing, before we get back together for Glorious Goodwood tonight for Horse Center. If you're just at work today, trying to get through the day, get home and make some bets, whatever it is that you're doing, I certainly hope that your day, your week ends up, and of course, all of our picks end up in the winner's circle.